You right, YouTube? It's Big Mike from Without Further Ado Retro, and you're watching Big Mike's Christmas Cracker. Cheers. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a mixed bunch, this one. There's a few. I was trying to wind down the spending towards Christmas. So there's going to be a few gifts, a few things that I've backed on Kickstarter that I forgot about and have sort of come through, which have been pretty cool. And some games I've bought, and a few other bits and pieces along the way. So hopefully this would be a pretty cool pickers video. Right, sorry if I seem a little bit dishevelled. I was supposed to film this video before I went away to watch the boxing, but I decided I didn't get around to doing it. So basically, I'm doing this off the tail end of getting in from the Chisora White 2 fight, so I'm a little bit hanging. I've had a brilliant time in the boxing with my mate Nick, his boy Kane, Dave and Jack, and my mate Liam, which is a friend of Danester's I met through Danester, and Liam's golden, and hopefully we'll be going to many boxing events in the future. So Liam's a really nice guy, and any mate of Danester's going to be a good guy. So right, got that out of the way. We'll carry on with the pickups. Cheers. Right, let's start off with the small stuff first, shall we? So right, the first one is just a bit of a crazy disc, which I thought was pretty good. So I think I paid cheekily. I think I put £1 bid on this, and I won this for a penny and 80p postage. And the only reason I got it is just because it's what it says on it. It's a disc 3 of a game, but I just liked it. It's piracy, which I just thought was wicked. So I might just get that framed. May even rub some of this disc 3 and all that off, and just have it as piracy and a 3.5 inch disc, which I think is pretty cool and pretty funny. And for 81p, you can't go wrong, can you? So yeah, just a little cool novelty item there. So the next item is a fantastic gift. Initially, I wasn't sure who sent it to me. I thought it was Cine Steve, but on further investigation, I found it was from the big man himself, Mr. Tooty UK, and he kindly sent me the Blades of Vengeance manual, which now completes my Blades of Vengeance that I picked up at the Revival Mini, which is really cool, and really appreciated to get that. Thanks ever so much, Stu. Much appreciated, mate, and that completes one of my box games on the Mega Drive now, so it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. The next one is a CD that I spotted on eBay. I believe I paid like 99p for this, maybe £3 postage. It wasn't no more than a fiver, and it is Chris Holzbeck, a piano collection. So this is Chris Holzbeck's tunes. If you know, sort of Amiga games and things like that, Chris Holzbeck done many of the Amiga games. One of the most famous ones, obviously, is Turrican 2. He done the soundtrack for Turrican 2. So I don't know if you can see that there, what's on there, but it's quite cool. It's got a lot of his work there. I should imagine it would be quite pleasant to listen to on the old Joanna. So yeah, that's the Chris Holzbeck collection on the piano. So really cool. Sound of Games. I don't know if they do. I might have to look them up, see if they do anything else. So yeah, it's another quite interesting thing. I haven't listened to it yet, so I'll be giving that a listen. This one here is basically a kickfunder that I done. It's for a Blu-ray to be made, or a documentary to be made, which is the Spectrum Addict 2. I kickstarted this quite some time back, maybe about a year ago, maybe less, maybe a bit more. So as you know, I'm an avid Spectrum fan, and yeah, so I believe I've seen the first one. Got a feeling Danester's mates in the first one of this. Harper and it, yeah, his mate. So yeah, I've got a feeling Danester's mates in this. Ant Harper, isn't it? That's it. I'm sorry, I couldn't remember your first name. Because Ant Harper was in the first one, I believe, and this is the second one. So maybe even Ant Harper might even be in this. I don't know, but I got a feeling one of the guys possibly passed away when they were making this. So it's a final documentary that they were involved with. So that's a bit of sad news. We're sort of losing a few people in the retro gaming industry, but like I say, their memories shall live on in this Blu-ray. So that's pretty cool. That big alien grabbing a 48K rubber key Spectrum by the look of it. So that was pretty cool. Okay, right, next couple of games I think we're going to go with. Bear with me. So look what we got here. Right, so I think we'll go with these ones. So yeah, so I've been trying to sort of get the spending going down a little bit. So, but when you see games at these prices, you can't sort of turn them away, especially for what I paid for these. So we've got some box SNES games for a change. Nothing anything major, no big hitters, but I picked up PJ Golf on the SNES. Not great condition, probably like 5 out of 10. You know, pretty honest. A little bit of a mark there. But I picked this up for a £5 delivered. It's a £5 for PGA Golf boxed. I believe it's complete. It might be missing instructions, but for a £5, you're not going to go wrong, are you, really? Next game, I believe this one cost me around £10 delivered, which is Pushover. I know this game from being on the Amiga, but SNES games for a tenner boxed. I'm going to buy them all day. So, unless they're worth less than a tenner, and then I won't bother. But yeah, so Pushover, pretty cool game. And you got to sort of push over dominoes, featuring GI Antler. But I remember it was pretty cool puzzle game. So I picked that up for £10. So I thought that was pretty cool. Another game, I already had this, but this version I've got of this is pretty cream crackered. It's a bit bashed up and that, so this version's a bit nicer. It does, unfortunately, it's a minter, but it has one flaw on it, which is obviously they've opened the box the wrong side. If you know how to open SNES box games, there's a side you open, there's a side you don't open. The side you should open is always the one with the Nintendo seal, so hence you cut the seal and you open the correct side. If you open the wrong side, sometimes if you're not careful enough, you can do something like this. I don't know if you can see. There's a mark here where they sort of put their thumb under and bent the box up a little bit. But other than that, it's an absolute minter. So once you, well, not a minter, but you know, it would have been in really nice condition. So once you put this in a protective case, you're not going to notice. And I mean, my one of this, SimCity, actually looks like it's been kicked up and down the street. So this one was missing manual, but I got a feeling this was up for a certain price, and I put a cheeky bid in of about £8.90 delivered, and they agreed, and they was sent there. And it probably cost them £4 to send it to me, to be honest. So it doesn't have manual. It's got the inserts and everything, so I've got the manual in my other one. So what I'll be doing is I'll be keeping this box, and then basically putting my manual in it and selling the other one on. So that is SimCity, and SimCity is actually a really cool and great game. And on the Super Nintendo, it has a few extra quirks that you only get on the Super Nintendo, mainly featuring Nintendo characters, which is pretty cool. So that's SimCity. Okay, and it wouldn't be a without further ado retro video without some excuse me, big box Amiga games. So just a couple of little quick ones here. I actually managed to get the big box edition of Worms on the CD32. So I already have the big box edition of this on the Amiga 1200 or 500 version. I'm not 100% sure. Unfortunately, some idiot has blown these. Unfortunately, but it means I can open it easier. I might put a bit of tape just to hold that together. I'm not sure. I'm always not sure what to do when it comes to taping boxes. I don't like it, but sometimes you might need to do it to hold the box together, keep the integrity of it a little bit better. So I've got the instruction manual, and then you remove that, and obviously you've got the CD32 version of Worms inside there. So Worms, an absolute classic game. Really, really cool. I believe I got this for about 21 or 23 quid delivered. So not bad at all, especially for a big box CD32 game. And I don't really have many big box CD32 games, so you generally find a lot of the games you just get the small case, and the bigger boxes are where the money's at, or where you know people sort of charge more money. So so yeah, I was glad to get hold of that. The next one was another cheap game. I believe this was about £7 to £10 maybe. It's not in the best of condition, but I didn't have it, so I thought I'd grab it anyway. Which is a core game, which is called Premiere, and you sort of got to, if I remember right, it's a platformer, and you sort of go around sort of sets and movie scenes and stuff. And I think you're supposed to be making a movie or something, but sort of platformer, Amiga sort of platform in action, which is pretty cool. But it's in a bit of a bad way. But I only paid cheap for it, and I can play the game. So I'll probably get an upgrade for this at some point, and then sell this one on. So it's nothing too bad. So right, the next one is a bit of a strange one. Well, it's not a bit of a strange one, but it's a game that's more known for being on the Amiga than it is for being on the platform I'm about to show you on. In fact, I've never seen it on this platform. And if you watch Without Further Ado Retro, you will know that I'm heavily into my Spectrum Plus 3 collecting. So anytime I see something for Spectrum Plus 3 that is unusual, or is a game I like, or is unusual and a game I like, which this particular one is, I've got to have it, as the Game Chasers would say. Without further ado, I picked up myself Supercars on the Spectrum Plus 3 disc, which is really, really cool. It's in really nice condition, actually. So, really, really cool. I've never knew that this was available on Spectrum, let alone Spectrum disc. So, be interesting to see. I've got a feeling it's basically like Supercars on the Amiga, but in black and white, and obviously probably a little less good sound effects. So, but there's the disc there, Supercars 3. So if you give that a clean, and I'll give it a good old test. And I've got a feeling I got this for about 20 quid, which isn't bad, you know, at all really. Like I said, I've only seen this one, so I don't really have anything to price it up against. But like I say, with the Spectrum Plus 3 stuff, it all does seem to be going through the roof price wise. So really chuffed to get this. Supercars is a great game on the Amiga. The Spectrum handles games like this sort of okay as well, not too bad. Overhead sort of driving games. There's some pretty cool games out on the Spectrum, so I'm hoping that the Specky puts up a pretty good job of doing this one. So really chuffed to get that. You know, with me, I love collecting me Plus 3, and really chuffed to get that one. Okay. Oh, God. Right, the next one is also something that I kick-started a little while back. I actually helped towards the first ever issue of this, which I now have a spare, which I'm going to gift to another tuber that I think will appreciate it, which is last year's edition. So what it is like, well, it's not. So one of the parts of it is, okay, which is the Crash calendar for next year. So I funded this. This has got some pretty cool pictures. You know, so it's just like, you know, really cool sort of artwork. Maybe from Crash magazines, but I think they may be newly illustrated. Oh no, they are from actual Crash magazines, I believe. So they're sort of reminiscent of the covers of old Crash magazines. So some pretty cool stuff here. LED Storm. That was really cool. I really like the sort of artwork and the way games are sort of, you know, you sort of bought your games on the artwork back in the day, didn't you? You know, there's some really cool stuff. And really cool magazine covers. I mean, look at that. How funky is that? You know, that is really cool, isn't it? Like, you know, very reminiscent of back in the day. You don't get magazine covers like that anymore, do you? That's very sort of maybe even sort of Mad Magazine-esque, isn't it? You know, all sorts of cool stuff. This one confused me because I can't see what that's got to do. It's head over heels, but I can't really see what that's got to do with head over heels. Perhaps it's about a different game, and Head Over Heels was featured in that one. So, Crash number 39. Head Over Heels was a great game. Absolutely fantastic. Great graphics. Really cool isometric 3D puzzle game. One for 2E, Samantha Fox's Strip Poker. I don't know if Sam Fox isn't featured on her. Is that supposedly Sam Fox in the background? I don't know. But yeah, there's Sam Fox. So this one is Frankie Goes to Hollywood. So that's pretty cool. A few more to go. Living Daylights. That's quite a cool one. Quite like that. It's pretty funky. But these are really cool. All these sort of, you know, you can make even sort of posters with these and stick them in a frame. The Great Giana Sisters. Very controversial game back in the day. You know, so said, ripped off of Mario. You know, Mario Brothers, the Giana Sisters. Yeah, so it was, I believe it was taken off the shelves. Very high-end, costly Amiga title. I believe it's on the C64 as well. I've played it on the Amiga. Yeah, it goes for about £800-900 nowadays on the Amiga on eBay anyway. Robocop 2. There's Robocop having a bash at Canelet, which is pretty funky. The artwork of these absolutely brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Is it Oliver Frey that done the artwork? Astro Clone, which no doubt was an Astro Wars rip-off, shall we say, or homage. Maybe it's a kinder word. And then we've got the final page here. If I can, oh no, I'm lying. There's a couple more. One of my favourite games, which is a really cool game, which is Myth. Myth was an absolutely great game. We sort of paid the boy going through times in mythological history. Actually remade several years later for the Amiga and the CD32, which I own both those versions as well. Just an all-round great game. Really, really good game. But really good on the 8-bit systems as well. Absolutely fantastic. So I loved those games. And the last one, the poster probably does it more justice than the actual arcade conversion, which is Thunderblade, which I thought was absolute pap on the Spectrum, even on the Mega Drive and the Master System. It was terrible, but really, really good arcade game actually, and thankfully really well recreated on the 3DS. Actually, there's a very good version on the 3DS, so really chuffed to get that. So that is this year's or next year's Crash Annual, Crash Manual, the annual. So calendar. And with that, I also got the Crash Annual. So, which is really cool and funky, and I haven't read it yet. I haven't had a chance to look through it, but I'll just show you a couple of pages. It comes with a free poster in the front there. What's it coming with? Let's have a look. Right, okay. It comes with a map for Sabrewulf. The map level for Sabrewulf, which is pretty cool. Nice addition there. And just a really nice glossy magazine. I mean, there's a bit that I'll be very interested in. Little bit gutted. I wasn't obviously I wasn't a good enough boy this year because unfortunately Santa's not bringing me my Spectrum next year. I've got to be good next year, and hopefully he'll bring it to me in the first quarter of January. Hopefully, so I got to make up some good time because yeah, unfortunately that was one of the Kickstarters that I really wanted to get hold of this year. And unfortunately, due to manufacturing complications, you know, when you're making... The boards got released in January, which was just a raw board like what you see there. But the actual full-blown Spectrum, which is in the top corner there, that has had complications throughout the way. And rather than them releasing a product that is not up to scratch, they've held back and made sure it's 100% as perfect as it could be. So I'd rather them do that than them release something like that Spectrum handheld thing that was released this year and was absolutely rubbish. But then became a bit of a collectible icon because only the backers got them, and they were going on eBay for like £200 to £400. But I want something to you know, pay homage to the Spectrum and bring something new to the table. That's what the Spectrum Next is about. You can play all of your Spectrum titles, well, apart from my +3 discs ones, eh? But yeah, you can play all of your Spectrum titles, and you can also play them with a sort of boost, you know, more memory, greater sort of sound chips and things. Hence why it is the Spectrum Next, the Spectrum that never came out, that should have come out possibly, like, you know. So a fans, you know, making from that. So I'll just show you a couple of pages of this. Yeah, it's really, really glossy and very reminiscent of Crash back in the day. I mean, look at these loading screens. I think these are from the Spectrum Next. I'm going to lose that poster in a minute, aren't I? But yeah, those are some loading screens from the Next, I believe. Looks absolutely fantastic. I really can't wait to get my hands on it. I've been waiting a long time. But I'm still waiting now. Yeah, there's some really cool stuff. So, yeah, it's just really, really cool. Really sort of nice to have something like this to read, and hopefully, you know, it's magazines, like, you know, I remember Old School saying, you know, that the magazines nowadays have lost all sort of wit and humour, and, you know, it used to be very funny back in the day. You know, I think there's like the letters pages, like, you know, and there was people writing in with their problems and issues and that, and usually the people responding back to letters were very funny, you know, and sort of lost that bit of mystique, really, hasn't it? You know, so this is sort of a hark back to the past, anyway, isn't it? So yeah, I might do a bit of an overview on this one, so just to sort of see, you know, just to show you a bit more in depth. But I shall certainly be reading this. I'm enjoying just looking at it now, to be honest. The first time I sort of opened it and looked at it, the quality of it is really fantastic. It is a really high quality productive book. It's really nice glossy pages, and yeah, the guy who does these is to be commended. And there's even oh, look at that, there's a lovely section there in memory to Bob Wakelin. I bet all of us watching this video have got some games with the artwork from Bob Wakelin. Definitely, 100%. You know, what a guy, what an artist. To have that man's talent, you know, absolutely fantastic. And he's sorely missed. I had the pleasure of meeting him at one of the play events, actually, and what a nice, down-to-earth and genuine guy. I actually had a bit of a laugh with him. And, you know, so I remember one year he sort of had a bit of bruises and that, and you know, and he was a bit bruised up and that. And me being me, you know, I'm a bit of a joker and that, you know, I'll always sort of take the mick, like, you know. I said, Cool, you haven't been out drinking and scrapping, have you? And he said, oh, no, I had a car crash on the way here, like, you know. And I was like, bloody hell, sorry, mate, like, you know, I didn't mean to take the mick or nothing. He's like, no, you're right, mate, and all that, you know. And he was a really nice and genuine guy, and it was really nice sort of to speak to him. And what a guy. You know, the guy's had a car crash, and he's still like come from A&E to go to an event to sign some pictures for all us crazy retro fans, like, you know. Like I say, just a pleasure to meet the guy, and it's just sadly that he's no longer with us. But without that, with R.I.P. Bob Wakelin, we wish his family and friends well. He will be missed. We'll move on to something a little bit more positive with the next pickup. Cheers. Right, and this is my final pickup. This might be a little bit of a sneak preview of what's to come with the Data Disc records. Basically, these I ordered these from America. My mate do unboxing thing here. So yeah, I ordered these from well, these came out on Data Records, or are coming out on Data Records. Unfortunately, I've been out on the lash with some friends who came up to visit me for my birthday, and basically I missed, although Cine Steve did give me the heads up, I missed the order date for these. So basically I had to order them from who Data Discs are getting them from in America, which is Mondo Records or Mondo Tees. And while the guys for the Data Records have got to wait for theirs until January, I've got mine now. So we'll try and open these and have a look. Let's have a look. Alright. Sorry, I'm knocking the cam whilst doing this. Everything's a bit makeshift. You're getting a bit of a insight to what without further ado, Retro Studios is like. It's pretty messy and there are games blooming everywhere as we're trying to sort through them and get things done and sorted and into some sort of organisation for the new year. So let's have a look. Right. It's certainly glued down well. Ah, there we go. Right, so here we have. So these are Mondo Records. They're 2 Castlevania releases, which is the Mondo Records Castlevania Rondo of Blood. I don't want that to slide off. So Castlevania Rondo of Blood. Really cool. Really nice. These are Open Gate records. Really lovely artwork. I think one of them's a standard edition, and one of them is a limited edition. So I don't know if to just crack these open. I'll just do a quick sort of show. I might do a more in-depth thing on these when I open them up, but just going to sort of show you. So this is a Rondo of Blood one, and then we have the other one, which is the it's all going everywhere. It's all going wrong. Right, which is the Symphony in the Night, which I believe this is on a bone-coloured vinyl with some sort of pattern as well, which was a limited edition. The limited editions you get in the UK from Data Discs are unique to Data Discs, but like I say, because I missed out on theirs, I had to go to Mondo, who make the records, and basically pick them up that way, so I didn't miss out. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, there's 2 new editions that if the people's picked them up in the UK, that's what you got coming in the post early January. And I've, like I say, doing it my way, I've managed to get my hands on them sooner than new people, but unfortunately we're not getting the limited editions. One of these is limited, but not the Data Disc limited, and one of them I think is a standard edition. But I thought I'd done alright with these. I thought I'd saved about a tenner with some discount code, but lo and behold, these got stopped in customs and it had to be another 13 quid. So it's probably always works out better. I think if I'd have ordered one at a time, I might not have got caught for the customs, but I'd have had to pay double on delivery. So I thought I'll have to work it out for next time. So if I'd have paid that and done 2 deliveries, I might have saved money actually. When you look at it was £13 import costs. The delivery was around 13 quid though. I think I'd have to go back and have a look at it, but yeah, that's the 2 Castlevania. I think they look beautiful. They look really nice. Like Bernard Matthews to say, beautiful. Perhaps that's good for this time of year, you know, with the old turkey and all that. Bit of a pun. Okay, YouTube. Like, comment, share and subscribe. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Hope you get everything you want. Hope you've been good. And hope you enjoy your time with family and loved ones. From Without Further Ado Retro, take it easy. Have a happy holiday, a great Christmas and a great New Year. Cheers.